Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to the second in the series of BITSA Fireside Chat series. Today we have a really special topic of BITSians in academia. They say that once a BITSian, always a BITSian. So here we have a bunch of lovely BITSians who, who are now on the other side of the table. So you see, uh, as BITSians, we have been students, but today we have our panelists who are now working as professors. We have the panelists ranging from a variety of batch and different backgrounds. So I, Ayush Agarwal from BITSA International, welcome you all. And let me introduce to the panel one by one. So first of all, we have Professor Amit Seth, uh, who is currently the Dean of Advancement and Professor at Anant National University in Ahmedabad. Then we have Professor Shivaram Venkataraman, who is currently working as Assistant Professor at University of Wisconsin-Madison. Then we have Professor Vaishnavi Ananthanarayanan, who is working as Assistant Professor at Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore. And last but not the least, we have Professor Shareq Mohammed Nazir, who is currently working as Assistant Professor at KTH Royal Institute of Technology. So this session, I want it to be quite informal, and have a really lively and one-on-one conversation with you. So now that you are working as a professor, is it fine if I call you by first name, or you want me to call by professors?
First name, please.
Thank you so much.
I think first name is better. Otherwise, it's very uncomfortable.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's kick off the conversation, and so tell me one thing, like what was the most memorable thing about you for you at BITS? We have Amit, who's from 78 batch, and we have Shivaram from 2002, Vaishnavi from 2004, and Shareq from 2005. And I can see that Shareq is the only one here along with me who have written BITSAT. So how was your experience of getting into BITS before BITSAT, and how was it like? How were you as a student? So we can start with Amit.
Well, I've been dreaming of bits right from the 10th standard. All right, because I came across the Bits Bible, that bulletin,
Mm-hmm.
and I had mugged it front to back, and I was very clear I wanted bits and not IIT. And in fact, when I reached campus, I could tell the cycle rickshawala which way to go to Krishna Bhavan. I mean, I knew the roads backwards. I was totally gaga about bits. I mean, I'd heard about it as when I was much younger. My cousin sister was there. She was about 10 years my senior. So I'd heard about bits from her and then from various people. And I was very sure it's bits or nothing else.
That's nice.
So, and yeah, we didn't have BITSAT, but then, okay, one scored well in the boards and all that. So had a very decent percentage and walked into bits.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Shivaram?
Yeah, I again had a similar this thing where there was a sort of a family member who was my mother's side who had gone to BITS about 8 or 9 years before I did, right? So I'd heard from him his experiences. That's how I came to know about BITS in the first place. And at that point, of course, like you were saying, there was no BITSAT, so we had to do well in our boards. And the school that I was in for my 11th and 12th grade, there was a lot of people who had gone to BITS from our high school, in the years before. So I kind of actually switched to that high school so that I would have a good shot of getting into BITS, right? And of course, there's a lot of pressure when you're writing the boards and you're preparing for it and all that. Things worked out, and I think the most memorable thing for me was, of course, I got into BITS, but a lot of the friends from my high school also got into BITS, right? And so we all sort of landed there together, and so I almost had this like big group of friends just to even kick off the program, right? So that just made it like almost a feeling of being at home immediately, right?
That's nice. Over to you, Vaishnavi.
Yeah, so I don't quite remember how I made the decision to go to BITS, and it had turned out to be I turned out to be one of the first batches in BITS, the first batch, in fact, at BITS Goa, right?
Yes.
So it was an interesting experience. I think, the most vivid memory for me, the first one at least, is of meeting my friends in the one train that went from Chennai to Vasco every week. And that's where I met my friends, who are still friends with, of course. So I can't quite remember how I made the decision to get into BITS. But one thing I do remember is I didn't want to do engineering, but then I landed at BITS. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but yeah, I did.
Okay. And finally coming to you, Shareq.
Oh, I think for me, yeah, it was it's a very typical Indian story, man. That your dad keeps on telling you from class 6th or 7th that okay, you have to go either to IITs or BITS. So I knew about BITS from my dad because he knew it from his friends, and that's why I came to know. And then yeah, so we had that in my mind, or at least I had that in my mind, from 6th to 7th standard, right? Somehow needs to orient myself towards either IITs or BITS. And then I also had to drop a year after my 12th to actually get into BITS. Okay, I was preparing for IIT JEE as well. Yeah, and then it was good that there was BITSat, and then wrote BITSat and got into BITS. Yeah,
that's amazing. So just like any student who gets into BITS, they are like among the top students in their schools, and then you go to BITS and write your first MOW paper, and you are in for a terrible surprise. So what was the first surprise for you? Like what was it like to take the first course, or like how was it for you, the first test at BITS? Any one of you can start and we can just go over again.
Yeah, I think it was cool.
Okay.
I didn't find any problem.
Okay.
It was just that, of course, there's a lot of freedom. You're outside your home for the first time, so that was very new. I think we were very lucky because we had formal ragging. All right, so we had 3 weeks of ragging, which was allowed. So we had no time to think about home or about the self. You're constantly worried about who's going to pick you up at what time in the night and where they're going to leave you. But you learned a lot about faculty, courses, books, references. A lot of stuff was handed over to us when you got friendly with the seniors. And I personally thought that I think the ragging was damn good. I mean, there was more intellectual ragging. Yeah, you did have these 1 or 2 rare cases, but 1 in 400 is not so bad. They were dealt with appropriately by seniors themselves without really worrying about the institute taking action. So the first 3 weeks were quite crazy. Sometimes the senior would walk down the road and I see him from a distance. I'd turn around because then if I get caught, I'll be in Malviya for like 3 days or 3 nights. And we're all very good friends today. But, I mean, that was the process. And so exams and all, I mean, it was cool. I mean, I don't think one really had any tension or worries of the pressure of out there. At least not the initial years, definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I remember from the initial years was it felt like, of course, there was a whole new format. Like I think Amit was saying, you had these choices. You could attend any, professor's lecture. You could go to, any class at any time. You could not go to any class at any time if you wanted to. There was nobody sort of like, keeping track of what you did. But again, I think like we had a very good group. So that's sort of my memory from the first few years is less on the academic side, but more on like, the friends that you made that kind of stayed with you through the entire program, right? Like I mean, the academics was fine. I guess like Shareq was saying, I had also prepared for JEE before that. So some of that preparation helped out in like, doing these courses in the first year or so, right? But yeah, most of my memories from that time are less about academics actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with what Shivaram just mentioned. I think a lot of my memories are not from classes per se, because I did end up not going to some of them by choice. But I think I did spend quite a bit of time outside of classes and tried to understand how to get stuff done. I think one of the biggest challenges for us in Goa, I think others will agree as well, who was from Goa, that getting daily stuff done was quite a bit of a challenge, and it was an adventure, I'd say, because food was also a bit of an issue, and it was interesting. So most of my memories are not from classes, but rather from other extracurricular stuff. But having said that, I think the only class I really do remember is the first physics class that we had. I don't quite remember. I think he left after a year or so, but he was, I think I sympathize with him now. At that time, I didn't understand, but I think he was extremely nervous. And so he wasn't looking at us. He started pacing around the podium and was delivering the lecture. And that kind of was quite strange. And that's the only lecture I really do remember. This was the first one we ever had in Goa. And I didn't go to too many of his classes after that.
Yeah, I think in my first year, I remember the lectures from Professor Srinivas Krishnaswamy on thermodynamics. And I still remember the lecture in which he pointed out towards me. I was dozing off in that lecture. And out of 250 students, he could clearly see that I was dozing off. And he had asked me to stand up in that lecture. But less did I know that, he would be the person who would actually shape my career. So later, yeah.
So now that we have talked about classes and stuff, and Vaishnavi already touched upon it. So have you guys ever bunked classes yourself? And now that you are professors and you see students bunking classes, like what reaction do you have and what do you have to say to them?
Hey, that's my constant battle. 3 universities where I've been teaching, I keep telling them, why are you putting attendance compulsory? At BITSian, it is not compulsory. At NID, where I did my postgrad, it was not. At IIT for the PhD, it was not. What is this compulsion to, mark attendance? But sadly, the rules are different everywhere else. And I don't see a problem. I mean, if a student can work on their own and do well and understand the stuff, it's fine. I mean, this compulsion of minimum 90%, 80%, I think it's 18th century. I think it's
Yeah, no, I strongly agree with you. I mean, I don't take attendance in any of the classes that I teach.
Wow.
I realized that this was so we had this program where, sort of all the new faculty, there's like some orientation and things like that, right? I was talking to faculty from other departments, and they were very shocked, actually. They were like, oh, you don't require attendance in your class, and I was like, no. I mean, I teach computer science, and I said, there's a lot of good resources out there. If you can learn and if you can do well on the tests and the projects, it's good for you. I'm happy, I'm just one way for you to learn, right? I mean, I'm there to help students if they need help. But I also think there's another factor, which is that, of course, you learn from the professors, right? I mean, you go to class, you learn from them. But I also feel you learn a lot from your cohort, like the other students in your class, your seniors, your juniors, whatever, they're there, right? And that was because we were in like Pilani in this hostel environment, right? I learned a lot from like so many other people. Right? I mean, so even if I didn't go to classes for like some particular topic, you sit and study with your students, you exchange notes, you discuss about things, you work out problems together, you solve assignments together, and so I try to also encourage that in the students that I teach these days, right? Ask them to work with other students and learn from them, right? I have one view of things, but there's many views of things. Right?
Yeah, so I think it's like the same for me as well, but I do actually end up taking attendance. We have very small classes, class sizes, and for the class I teach, at least about 20 to 30. And I do so to remember the names of the students. So the first couple of classes, I do end up calling out names just to make sure I remember who's who. And from then on, it doesn't really matter. I don't actually know if ISC has a compulsory attendance thingy, but we don't take it into account for grades, at least.
Yeah. Thank you, Ayush, for bringing up that attendance question, especially knowing my history with it. So now, so I think I was one among those few students at BITS Goa, I mean, whose parents were called because of not attending classes. And
wow.
And my students and my parents did come to the campus to speak to the professor, and but then that again, that helped me change the way I was studying at that time. And then I started attending classes. At that point of time, I was thinking maybe attending classes was not important, But now as a teacher, I don't know, I just feel that I need more students in my class, to be present. because that feeds in energy to me as well when I teach. And yeah, so although we don't take attendance here at KTH, correct me if I'm wrong, Ayush, but then when more the students, I think more the energy in the class, and that feeds in to me as well when I teach. So, and then, in this COVID situation, when we're giving these online lectures or making video tutorials, I just didn't feel that motivated enough, even to teach. So I think as a student, I was a little arrogant at times, but then I changed myself after my parents visited the campus and gave me a bit of a coating. But now I realize, how important it is for teachers also to see students in the class. So
yes.
Yeah, but I think there's also a good point you make, which is that engaged students are very good to have in a class, right? One of the things that I feel, which is not very useful, is if you force people to come in and they're just sitting there just for the sake of attendance, right? Then I tell them, you know what, you can do your stuff. I'll work with whoever is engaged, right?
I agree.
Yeah, right. Some of them are just sitting in class, they're not paying attention, they're on the mobile doing something. Why? Don't come. There are other resources.
No, I agree. I think if you don't have this rule, right, for attendance, and if there are more students turning to your classes, then it is kind of a success for a teacher.
Yes. Talking about attendance and importance of attending classes, and Shareq, I think you may already know what my next question is going to be to the panelist. Now that you are working as a professor, can you tell us what was your CGPA when you were a student?
You gotta hope, man.
I'll be the last on it, so I'm not going to. I'll first listen to others.
So Amit, you can go ahead.
I'm not gonna tell you my CGPA. No way.
That is unfair, Amit.
We all started very well in the first term, right? And let me put this way: there were 8 of us from our school in Ahmedabad. Okay. And of the 8, I was the topper, and we had one more guy who just scraped into BITS. His percentile was, I think, 81, and we were all in the mid 90s. And of course, first time we all did 10s. On graduation, he did MSc Bio, by the way. There were 5 engineers, 1 physics, 1 bio, 6 engineers. Sorry. And none of the engineers have a CGPA over 8.
Okay.
And the bio guy is, I think, 8.5. All right. And we were in the same school. I know that you had to wake him up in the morning saying, "Oi, there's school here in 10 minutes. Get up, brush your teeth, let's go to school." One of the backbenchers. The guy is a super scientist today. So actually grades don't matter. We've all done well. The grades haven't really hampered. Yeah, initially people said, "Oh, you only got so much." I said, "Look, talk to me. Let's not talk about grades. Grades are a different story."
Okay. So we are not yet done with this question. So
No. So I'll just say this anecdote. So when I was doing my master's in Illinois, in Urbana-Champaign, there was this professor was teaching algorithms, and he said one of the benefits of doing a PhD is that if anybody walks up to you and asks you what was your GPA or CGPA, you tell them, "Here's my thesis." Read this. This is all matters. So you don't answer the question. You just tell them, "Here's my thesis. I wrote this as my PhD." So
no, you're forgetting the golden BITSian rule. You never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, and his CGPA.
Yes, right. And I purposely decided to break this rule for this particular session. So Vaishnavi, do you want to answer that, or you also want to share an anecdote with this question?
I don't have anything to share. I did fairly okay, I think. So
okay.
It's available on my CV if you're interested, but I'm not going to say it now.
Okay. No, I saw that already.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I have nine publications, I can say right now.
That was a good one. Okay. So I mean, at BITS, like we always used to have like a certain I mean, we didn't have attendance, but there are few professors who are like quite notoriously famous for taking surprise tests. So, have you missed any test, or like do you regret missing any test, or you as a professor, do you take surprise tests for your students?
I don't know. I teach design. Okay,
Mhm,
so it's continuously evaluating, asking questions, making them do
mhm,
things.
mhm,
So there's no exam format. We have juries at the end of the semester.
mhm,
So there are no tests of that kind because
mhm,
we hardly have any hardcore theory.
mhm,
But going back to BITS days, I remember. I'm sure you all had makeups if
mhm,
you missed a test, right? So it was electronics 3. Mohi Mukherjee was the faculty, and no, electronics 2, not 3. And I missed the test. I was not well or something. So
mhm,
he organized the makeup,
mhm,
and it just so happened that my alarm rang. This is
mhm,
the pre-digital days.
mhm,
The alarm rang and I didn't hear it, or I must have switched it off in my sleep. I woke up late, so I rushed. The
mhm,
makeup was over.
mhm,
So I gave him a note saying, I'm very sorry, but honestly, I missed it because I didn't wake up.
mhm.
So he sent me a note saying, Mr. Shareq, that's very nice of you to be honest, but I will also be honest.
Mhm.
I cannot help you. But he kept it in mind because there was another boy who was majorly ill, and
Mhm,
they had to conduct a special makeup at the end of the semester.
mhm,
He called me for that.
mhm.
So that is very sweet of him. That is very actually uncalled for. But he remembered, he called me for that test at the end of the sem, and I could, give that.
Mhm.
Very, very sweet prof. He was
Okay.
the first professor from Pilani who was member of the IEEE from
Okay,
campus.
that's nice. What about you, Shivaram, Vaishnavi, Shareq?
I've definitely missed surprise tests in Plani,
Mhm,
probably more than one.
mhm,
And do I feel bad about it? Probably not that much, I mean, like this was also linked to the attendance kind of like
mhm.
question, right?
Yes.
And there were just some courses that I was not attending those many classes for,
Mhm,
and but do I do it now? So I don't do any surprise these things now. What I do is like I do hold some in class, like
mhm,
participation exercises, like
mhm,
a discussion or like some kind of Q&A.
mhm,
That translates to some credit at the end of the semester, right?
mhm,
And you can still miss like 5 or 10 of them and still get like all the credit
mhm,
that you need, right?
mhm,
So mostly what I see, the things that I'm doing as a faculty now is to encourage attendance, right?
mhm,
Like I'll give you some like bonus or like some carrot, like if you
mhm,
show up to class and if you like engaged, right?
mhm,
But not as a punishment to say that, hey, you didn't show up. And so you're going to get like,
mhm,
negative credit on this, right?
mhm,
So, but it has being, I think the freedom and the things we had at BITS definitely does shape the way you think about these things, right? And I
mhm.
think that is that it's definitely shaped my thinking on this. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Maybe we can go out of turn once. Why don't you go first, Mohammed?
Uh, no, I think surprise. I've missed plenty of surprise tests, man. So plenty. I've missed MT2 lab, surprise test, this
Oh,
lab,
wow.
that lab. So I've missed quite a lot. If you see
Okay.
my second year grade card or transcripts, you'll understand. Clearly reflects what I was
Okay.
doing in my second
Mhm,
year at BITS.
mhm,
But then I think no, I think here we don't have this
mhm,
this idea of having surprise
mhm,
tests. Yeah, I think we what we have in our coursework here is projects and that's what we give to students and they
mhm,
work on those projects and present and then they get some grades for it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same in ISA. I think like Shareq mentioned, we don't have really a surprise test concept I mean, at least not in my classes, at least.
Mhm,
And I don't quite remember. I don't think I missed any surprise tests in BITS because we had lookouts who
okay.
would immediately text us and say, come running.
Okay.
And yeah, we returned the favor as well. So
Mhm.
that was quite useful then.
That's nice. Now that we have discussed about the surprise test and like some of you have missed surprise test, why not have a surprise test for you right now?
Oh boy.
So, so for taking the surprise test, I'm not a professor yet, so I don't feel myself qualified enough to take your surprise test. So let's bring a very well-known personality from the BITS alumni and have him take the test. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're watching this show, please welcome Dean Nattu.
Ah,
So Dean Nattu will be joining us and he will be taking your surprise quiz. So,
Oh
yes.
no!
Do I get a cheat sheet? Yeah.
I think I would have bunked even this than today.
Okay. So, yep, Dean Nattu is online and he will just show up anytime with his brown envelope and have the surprise test for you guys right now. So, Dean Nattu, can you hear us?
no, his mic is off.
Okay. Let's see. So, how do you guys feel about the surprise test that you're going to face right now? What do you think it is going to be about?
I'm actually quite curious, man. I don't know.
Okay. So by the time he joins, I can give you a quick heads up. So like I said, here Shareq is the only one who has written BITSat. So Dean Nattu will be asking questions about physics, chemistry, and maths, mainly high school stuff.
Oh boy.
And
Okay.
No.
Okay.
let's see.
No.
We should have had a lookout now. I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hi. Yes.
Oh, आयुष तुम लोग मुझे बाहर ढूंढ रहे हो और मैं यहाँ तुम्हारा इंतजार कर रहा हूँ. So, great meeting Amit, Seth, Shivaram, Venkataraman, Vaishnavi, and Saresh, Mohammed Nazir. Okay, so Pilani guys know me. Goa people may not know me. रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारा बड़ा भाई लगते हैं. नाम है मेरा डीन नट्टू. Amit, when you were student, I think measurement technique was your favorite subject. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now
I did
I'm
very
going to
well.
ask you. I'm going to ask you a measurement tech question. What is the height of the
Okay.
Mira Bhavan wall?
I
What
knew
is
it
the
would
height
have
of
that.
Mira Bhavan?
The height
Every
of the
day
wall
evening.
is, it's
Every
10
day
feet.
evening you used to be there, so you will know it.
Yes.
What is the height of
10
Miravan
feet.
wall?
10 feet. 10 feet. 10 feet.
Okay. So if you had not answered, I would have given a NC and made you come all over again. Okay. Let's say Shivaram Venkataraman.
Yes, sir.
He's a computer science guy. It's very difficult to ask questions to comp key guys. But Shivaram, you were there 2002 to 2006.
Right.
Which year was the BITS Connect project installed?
Oh man. Okay. So this definitely
You
happened.
were a student.
I was a student. I remember because we were sharing songs and movies a lot after that project got completed. I'm going to guess 2005.
You are wrong by a year. 2004 it was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask a question which I'm sure computer science guys will never answer. Which year did Malviya Bhavan become Mira Bhavan?
Oh.
Malviya Bhavan became a girls' hostel. Which year?
Shivaram, you were there on campus at that time.
2002, I want to say, yeah. 2002 or 2003. Yeah.
No. Absolutely no. 2004.
Okay, wow.
2004, Malviya Bhavan was converted into. You computer science guys, I know where you live here. Okay. Let's get on to Vaishnavi.
I hope it's not going to be Pilani questions.
No, I know that you are from Goa. Who was the first director of Goa campus?
TC Goel.
Oh, you are at IISc. So there is a distinguished alumnus of BITS connected with IISc Bangalore. Can you name him?
With BITS Goa or generally BITS?
No. No, I wouldn't say that. There is a distinguished alumnus of BITS connected with IISc Bangalore.
There are several. Vijay Natarajan?
Really?
No,
It's not a distinguished
SP
alumnus, I
Arun.
suppose.
Yeah, no, they're all distinguished. I call them distinguished. I don't know.
No, you are wrong. That is Vijay Chandru.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, of course. Yeah.
Vijay Chandru,
He
he
is
was,
in fact
he was
adjunct
also,
faculty of our department.
yes, he was also shot in the IISc shootout episode. Okay,
Oh, yeah, okay.
let's move to Shareq Mohammed Nazir Bhai.
Yeah, hello. But
Yes, hello. Oh, you became my Facebook friend.
Yeah.
Can you first tell me how many mutual friends we have?
Like, something around 1,000?
You make a guess.
No. Okay. No. Let me see. No.
You are
no.
way out. 62.
Oh,
We
that's
have
it.
62.
I'm surprised actually, because I have more than
62.
around 1,000 people from BITS who are my friends. So
Oh, no, that's okay. You and me have 62. One of them is sitting there also. That is Vaishnavi.
okay.
Okay. You are from Sweden. Nazir Bhai, you are from Sweden. How many chemical engineers have got Nobel Prize? How many chemical engineers have got Nobel Prize? There are chemical engineers who got Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
Even though there is no prize for chemical.
Yeah, I know. There are a few. I just know one chemical engineer, he received Nobel Prize twice, but I don't know how many chemical engineers have received Nobel Prize.
Okay, I'll give you his name, Linus Pauling.
Okay. Yeah, but how many? I want to know this now.
There are 8 chemical engineers who got Nobel Prize.
Wow.
Linus Pauling, Fritz Haber, Karl Bosch, Mario Molina, Giulio Nata, Lars Wonsager, Martin Louis Pearl. He got in physics. And the only lady to get Nobel Prize is Frances Hamilton Arnold. That is the last year.
Yes.
Okay. Since you are in Sweden, I hope one of these days you will get, I'll write proud to be BITSian Nobel Prize winner. Okay. Let's come back to some
No
business.
pressure, Shareq, you know.
It's peer pressure
Why not,
always,
yeah?
you know.
Why not? Let's put it this way. Let me start with Amit said. Amit, you are a designer, you like fabrics, so you like nylon also, nylon 6. What is the monomer for nylon 6?
Pass. I'm not going to get into that.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Monomer of nylon 6.
I haven't heard the word monomer in like many years, you know.
Okay, I'll tell you something interesting about nylon at least. It was a project during Second World War which was simultaneously happening in New York and London. And when the breakthrough came, they decided to name it NYLON, New York, London. That's how nylon, NYLON came. Right? So that is a bit of history of the chemical. Caprolactam is the monomer. Okay, now let me go to Shivaram. Shivaram is a data miner, so he may know data. What is the universal gas constant? What is the unit? You can tell in any unit.
Whoa.
We always write PV is equal to RT. What is the universal gas constant?
PV equals RT. I do remember.
If you want, I can give you a lifeline.
Yes, I can. I will take a lifeline. Yes.
1.987, 8.314, 0.082, 62.363.
I like 8.314. That sounds very familiar. So I'm going to go with that one.
You are brilliant, dear. You did it. Right. It is 8.314 joules per mole K SI unit. You are a data miner, yeah. I read reviews of your teaching. I heard you are a very tough guy. You give very tough projects, and you are very difficult. Was there any professor who gave you projects which were tough in bits?
Oh, lots of them. Oh, lots of them. I mean, yeah.
Name anyone?
Shan Balasubramaniam. He taught a lot of the CS courses when I was
Okay,
there.
okay.
His projects.
He left the BITS a few months back. It's
I
fine.
see.
Shan, good friend of mine.
Yeah,
Let me jump over to Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi,
Yes.
okay. The question to you is, one of my favorite movies is Evening in Paris.
Okay.
So I like Plaster of Paris. Can you
no.
tell what is the chemical formula of Plaster of Paris?
I have no idea.
It is, sodium sulfate or magnesium
Why don't you give me a
sulfate.
lifeline again?
Okay. Calcium carbonate, calcium sulfate 5H2O, calcium sulfate 2H2O,
Okay.
calcium hydroxide.
It's one of the calcium sulfates. I'll go with 5.
You did it. you did it. Great. Now I am left with Mohammad Nazir. Nazir, bye.
I would have actually gone with that question to Shivaram, the value of R, 8.314, joule per mole Kelvin, because I was very sure of it.
Cool. For you also, I am coming with something of that kind only.
Yeah, but
can we know what is Avogadro's number?
Yes, 6.
I know that one also.
I actually know this one. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 6.123 into 10 power.
No, I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
October 23rd.
Yeah,
Oh,
6.
That's cheating.
6.23 into 10 power 23.
23. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
So, fine. I'll give you 6.023 into 10 to the power 23.
Yeah, 6.023 into 10 power.
Now, if I cut an avocado, into 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 pieces, what will you call it?
Wow.
I know this one.
Avocado.
Yeah, please tell.
Guacamole.
Oh, these computer guys are no solid, yeah. Okay. By the way, October 23rd, 6:02 a.m. to 6:02 p.m. is celebrated as Mohd Day.
Okay.
23rd October, that is, stand for 10 to the power 23,
Right.
6:02 a.m. to 6:02 p.m. That is 6.02. That day is known as Mohd Day. Okay, now let's jump over to maths. Let me start with Amit bhai. Amit, sin square x plus cos square x, what is it?
What?
I'll
Come
give you
again.
lifeline to come, Mare.
Come again, sign.
I'll give you lifeline, sin square x plus cos square x, 0, square root 2, 1, minus 1.
It's all Greek and Latin to me here. I haven't done this in 15 years, 20 years, no. After BITS, I didn't pick up a math book here.
GB Thomas, Zindabad.
I know, Jimmy, I have it out here, but I haven't opened a damn thing.
Okay, anyone else?
1.
Anyone else?
1.
Sin square x plus cos square x.
1.
It's
Yes,
1.
anyone else? Sin square x plus cos square x.
I think, yeah, all of us said it. It's 1.
Oh, you are 1 and 1. Yes, that's right. That's right. Now, I think it's time to catch this Wisconsin-Madison boy. What is the integral of sin x?
Ooh.
No, yeah, let me not do it. No, I'll change the question. I
Okay.
don't like this question.
Okay.
Okay. So, but anyway, you want to tell, you tell. What is the
No.
integral of
Let's
sin
change
x?
the question. Yeah.
Change the question, huh?
Yeah.
What is the value of cos pi by 2?
Cos pi by 2. So cos 90. I think cos 0 is 1.
Cos pi by 2.
2 is 0, I think.
Yeah, you guys did it, yeah. You are right. Okay. Let's go to Vaishnavi.
Sure.
In which quadrant is tan x positive?
Oh,
There are 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4.
yes.
In which quadrant tan x is positive?
Fourth quadrant.
The first?
Maybe more than also.
Yeah, could be. It is more than. What are the options again? I
Yeah,
have to draw this otherwise. Hold on.
I'll give you your 4 choices.
Yes.
1 and 3, 1 and 3, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4.
1 and 3.
Yeah, I know. I think you know. You bits fellows, there are crackers, yeah. Ratta. You also got it right. Okay, now you know I'm going to have a okay. Nazir bhai,
Yeah.
can you take up what is the integral of sin x?
I think cos x, right? No? No?
Integral of sin x.
Minus cos x.
Minus, you are halfway through. I'll give you one, I'll give you the
minus
choices.
Cos x, right? Or no?
Minus cos x, but plus a constant always.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you
Right.
are absolutely right.
वो नहीं बोलना है. Okay, guys, let's come over to physics.
Okay.
Okay, where do I start? I'll go to Amit Sheth. Right, Amit.
You got the baka right today.
Yeah. तेरा तो कुंडली मैं जानता हूँ. CDPA, to decimal I know. Okay.
I know.
Don't worry.
Absolutely. I should have listened to my father. He begged and pleaded, don't do engineering, go for design. And I said, no, engineering.
Yeah. Now it's fine. You see, of course, in BITS, there was no apple tree. So we cannot say how the apple fell. But you are going to tell what is the value of universal gravitational constant.
Oh, God.
If you want, I'll give you the choices.
Yeah, give the choices. That'd be easier.
Okay. 9.8 meter cube per kg second, 10 meter cube per kg second, 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 meter cube per kg second.
9.8.
9.8. तेरा CDPA बोल रहा है क्या? Or there is a fourth one. Fourth one is it depends upon where you are.
No.
It may differ from place to place. Pilani and Goa may have different G values.
Of course not.
I'm asking universal gravitational constant, not that local wala G wala. Universal. Capital G, not small g. 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11, 9.8, 10, and depends on where you are.
I give up.
Cool. Anyone else? Anyone can take it up?
I think
Universal
it's
gravitational
6.67,
constant.
right? Yeah, it's 6.67 times 10 to the power.
Yeah. No. I think if you take up BITSat, you'll be topper again. Yeah.
I wish.
Oh, great. Okay, let me get over to Shivaram. Okay. I think he likes numbers.
Yep.
Shivaram, the question for you is Planck's constant. Of course, theory says that the quantum of electromagnetic action that relates the photon energy to its frequency, that is Planck's constant. What is its value? I'll give you the choices.
Okay.
3 into 10 to the power 8. You tell. You are
No.
on.
I don't know the value. I know it's not 3 into 10.
Okay, I'll keep telling. 3 into 10 to the power 8, 273, 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second, and the last option is 9.11 into 10 to the power 31.
It's 6.634 into 10 to the power minus.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So you know that. Next, your grandson also will get admission to BITSian.
Can I get that in writing,
Grandson ko bhi admission Awesome. I kept all the data questions for you and you are freaking out. Okay, let me get on to Vaishnavi. What is the alpha particle? Question to Vaishnavi. What is an alpha particle?
Any options?
Yeah, I'll give you. Electron, hydrogen atoms, doubly charged helium nuclei, and none of these. Electrons, hydrogen atoms, doubly charged helium nuclei, and none of these. Alpha particle.
Is it the hydrogen atom? Okay,
Gaya.
doubly charged helium or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember this.
Alpha particle, you know, धूम जाके मारता है तो चार्ज तो होना चाहिए. I was telling him.
I know that's what I was thinking, but then yeah, okay, doubly charged.
I was giving emphasize hint on doubly charged, right? You goofed it. Okay, Shareq.
Yeah.
Nazir bhai, for you, you know, because of this Nobel Prize business in Sweden, I have to always catch you on something like that. Who discovered the photoelectric effect?
Oh. The photoelectric.
I can give you the lifeline.
Yeah.
Photoelectric effect, Niels Bohr, Isaac Newton, C.V. Raman, Albert Einstein.
I think I'll go with C.V. Raman. No?
No.
You
Einstein.
go with K.E. Raman also, no? Why would you know C.V. Raman? Why not K.E. Raman? Goa campus mein tha.
Oh my God. You know what? Can we not share this YouTube link anywhere, man?
It's already out
No, yeah.
everywhere.
C.V. Raman.
No.
He did the Raman effect. So photoelectric effect is none other than the great Albert Einstein.
Okay.
Okay, Albert Einstein. So when the emission of electron happens, then the electromagnetic radiation hits the material. So when the EM
E equal to
hits
MC
the
square.
material,
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right. K.E. Raman बोलने से मजा आता था. C.V. Raman बोल रहा है.
Sorry. I didn't catch the point. Sorry. Oh my God. No, this is going out. No.
Shareq looks so disappointed with himself.
No.
No problem. So I'll come to some GK question now. I am giving you the latitude, longitude of a place.
Fair. There's no biology.
Oh no, मैं photoelectric effect भूल गया यार. Shit. No.
Biology, see, only people with PCM can get into bits. Biology को भूल जाओ.
Hey, what? We did MSc biology.
Wandering Buffalo was the book that we used.
No. Don't worry. Now let's get on to quick something. I'm giving you latitude, longitude of a place. You tell me where is it. 28.35 degrees north, 75.58 degrees east. Is one of the BITS campuses. 28.35 degrees north and 75.58 degrees east.
That's the Pilani campus itself.
Yeah, Amit, tu chapa maar diya hai. Okay, great. Let's get on to the next one. It could be Goa or Hyderabad. Right. I am only Indian, so no Dubai. Right. The latitude, longitude is 15.39 degrees north, 73.87 degrees east. 15.39 north, 73.87 east is either Goa or Hyderabad.
Has to be Goa, right? Because it's less east than Pilani. Is that right?
These computer science data mining guys. I think this guy should be banned from appearing in any exam. Boss, you're so simply freaking out, yeah. But whatever said, all four of you cracked, things left and right, no doubt. क्योंकि आप सब हीरे हैं, हीरे का अपनी कीमत तो खुद अंदाजा नहीं होता है, उसका कीमत या तो जौहरी जानता है या बादशाह, और नट्टू जौहरी भी है, बादशाह भी है। तो हर कीड़े का हिम्मत हम खुद जानते हैं। मजा आया जनता? आज कुछ तो बहुत होगी तुम।
But not us, actually, you know, at least not me. I lost the photoelectric effect, man. Come on. I cannot sleep tonight now.
Okay. Let me jump over to some random one.
No,
Anu
if you've
Hassan.
gone by the
Okay.
trip.
Nazir question.
Oh, good.
The question for Nazir. Nazir, Anu Hassan came as a chief guest for Waves. Which year was it?
Anu Hassan, right?
Anu Hassan, film actress, came as chief guest for Waves.
Yeah.
Which
No, I
year?
remember.
You were student.
Yeah,
You were
I was.
student.
Yeah. I know I was
I
there.
picked this question knowing that you are student
Yeah, I know I was
during
there.
that period.
Yeah, I was there in the auditorium that time.
Clue, I wasn't there.
Ah,
You
okay.
were not there. Yes, that's
Thank
why
you,
I didn't
thank you.
ask you, Vaishnavi.
It has to be 2010, probably.
You were
Or
doing
9,
ME. Do
or
you
9
think when
also.
doing ME you will go to auditorium?
Yeah, I think yes.
You were doing ME in 2010. ME
Yeah.
guys don't go to auditorium.
Really?
You are
Okay.
busy with lab and all those stuff.
No.
So during your years,
So was it? It has to be 2009 or 10.
it is 2009.
Okay.
2009, Anu Hassan came with Waves.
Yeah.
Okay, now what do I do? Yeah, I think I'll have to put some about Pilani. What is the magic? I think somebody was wearing a T-shirt, magic
it's
all over
magic.
or something. Oh yes, it's magic, huh? So let me say something. हर हवा की झोंके में, हर हवा की झोंके में पिलानी की खुशबू ढूंढता हूं। हर ऊंचे दीवार के पीछे मेरा भवन ढूंढता हूं। हर ऊंचे दीवार के पीछे मेरा भवन ढूंढता हूं। This was a line quoted by the chief guest of Oasis in BITS Pilani in the year 2007. Anyone knows his name? He was from Intel. हर ऊंचे दीवार के पीछे मीरा भवन ढूंढता हूं. Imagine chief guest going on stage and doing a shairi like this. The whole audience exploded. This immortal poem was by my classmate Sunit Ricky from Intel. He came all the way from Oregon to be chief guest for BITS Oasis in 2007.
So now I think all of you had a very intense session of quizzing and question and answer.
No, I have one question to I think most of the BITSians, man. I just even I'm speaking to Dean Nattu for the first time today, and even he calls me Nazir Bhai. I just don't understand what is this Bhai, man. Most of the BITSians used to call me Bhai, man. Shareq Bhai, this Bhai.
He's assuming that you come from the western part of India.
Okay.
हम सब भाई लोग यार, हम सब भाई लोग हैं. We work overground, but people think we are underground.
Yep. So I think
that brotherhood, that in English, Hindi में भाई लोग बोलते हैं. Brotherhood of BITSian, we call it भाई लोग.
Yeah.
So I think we are coming to an end of our session after this really intense grilling or borderline roast or ragging, whatever you call it, of our BITSian professors who are now on the other side. So just to end it on a very nice note, I would like to ask our senior most BITSians who are here, Amit and Dean Nattu, what advice do you have for people who are already venturing into academia right now or who want to come into academia? What would you like to say to them? What is that one key message that you learned all over the years, and what is your key message?
Whether it's academics or industry, I've done both. All right?
Mhm.
Follow your passion. That's the most important thing. You believe in something, just go ahead and do it. That's very important. You will find politics everywhere, every campus, every industry, everywhere. The grass is always green on the other side. Don't worry about all that. Okay? You believe in something, you want to try and search, or you've got ideas, you want to write, just go and do it. And that's the most important. And if you want to be in the teaching line, you must love kids. That's the single most important thing to be a teacher. You must love kids of all sizes, shapes, intelligences, everything. They're all smart kids. Some are slow, some are fast. That's it. So if you love kids, I don't think you have any problem being a teacher anywhere. And don't hide behind the desk.
Okay. In my say, I would say that जो दिल जीतना चाहता है वो टीचिंग में आ ही जाता है, राइट? क्योंकि टीचिंग इज ऑल अबाउट दिल जीतने की बात. दैट इज माय ओपिनियन. दिल जीतने की बात.
Shareq, Shivaram, and Vaishnavi, do you have anything to add or ask?
No, I just have something to add, and that is, I think the level of freedom that we have in academia, I mean, only you can feel it once you are there in it. So, yeah, I mean, I think I always say this, that you are paid to think in academia. So, I mean, you get paid for just thinking whatever you want to think. So, apart from, of course, I mean, your job is to teach as well and nurture other people. But then, I think, yeah. It is. I think people have a very different perception, but then the level of freedom that we have is just huge. Yeah.
Okay. Vaishnavi, you are muted.
I just like to add that I don't think you even need to like teaching as much. So teaching is not my favorite thing, but I'm in it for the research. So discovering new things every day is something that keeps me going. So I think even if you don't enjoy teaching, it's all right. You could still be in academia, do research, but this is what keeps me going, at least.
Okay. And Shivaram?
I think people have already said most of the things that I think matter the most. I think the last thing I would add is that, I mean, for me, academia is also a lot about working with a lot of people who are, very excited and passionate about things they want to do. This ranges from the classroom to like the, graduate students or like other colleagues or postdocs or any other roles that people are in, right? So this kind of collaborative spirit really, I think, makes it very unique to me, at least, academia. Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to add, my first teaching job, I was a student faculty member at BITSian.
Wow.
I was student instructor in charge for a 3-credit third-year course.
Wow.
Yeah, that just started me off. That was a big kick. Nattu remembers it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we had this session on academia, BITSians in academia, and I would like to end it in a much more academic style by thanking all our collaborators and everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank each one of you who took out time from your schedule and agreed to be on this chat show in spite of being spread across different time zones. It was quite a challenge to get everyone together at the same time, but in the end, all of us managed that really well, and I'm really happy. So thank you, Shareq, thank you, Amit, thank you, Shivaram, thank you, Vaishnavi. Then I would like to thank Dean Nattu, who agreed for the special cameo, the special guest appearance in this show. So I can tell you the story. So it was like we were discussing how to go about this particular series, where we will not discuss about your research activities or like what you do or stuff like that and light stuff. And then this idea germinated that, okay, we can take a surprise quiz and let them relive this old days. And then we thought that, okay, let's bring in Dean Nattu. I mean,
Brilliant.
who can be better than Dean Nattu? He's like a BITSian and one of the most well-known person, and we all love him. And then I would like to thank my team members, Pratyush, Arya, and Shrikar for bringing in our panelists, our guests. Then I would like to thank our two volunteers who are also there on this call, Kartikeya and Sarthak. So who were there for the tech support, and Sarthak was the one who designed these wonderful posters for us. So thank you, Kartikeya. Thank you, Sarthak. And last but not the least, I thank all of you who are watching this stream live and who will be watching this in future after we make it available online. So big thank you for being here, and have a good evening, afternoon, morning.
Yeah.
So
And thank you.
thank you.
And thank you,
Hey,
Ayush.
can I say something? Can I
Yes,
say
sir.
something?
Absolutely.
Today morning only, I made Vaishnavi and Shareq bhai, my Facebook friend. I think they must have guessed at least kuch dal mein kala hai. All of a sudden,
Actually,
early
there's a
morning,
funny
Nattu is
story
sending a
about that.
friend request.
Yeah,
I
there's a
killed,
funny story about that. Actually, I
and
think you have more than 5,000 friends, and so it said
yeah,
it
I
was a
know.
problem.
No, I saw your request. Then,
Yes.
I have some people, on the guillotine board. So I wait for an occasion to knock them off. So quietly I picked up and, took you in. And of course, see, today, July 11th is very important for us because all BITSians are very fond of Skylab. And July 11th, 1979, that Skylab fell down. And that is how that restaurant came. Many people think that Skylab is owned by Pappu Kapoor. No. When Skylab started, it was a joint venture by Kapoor and Sharma Restaurant jointly. But Sharma Restaurant backed out after a few months and Kapoor took sole ownership of Skylab. Many people don't know this part of Skylab history. Everyone thinks it is Kapoor ka, but the opening was a joint partnership. So we'll have more questions on such things, Oh, bits ka tower ka height and all, I will ask. I will not ask because every year the height of bit tower is going up. More BITSians achieve, tower 2 inch बढ़ रहा है. So I have stopped measuring the height of bits. Right. Latitude, longitude, ठीक है, altitude measurement मैं छोड़ दिया हूँ. Right. Because every year I am getting a different value. Let it keep rising. And let the waves keep blowing.
Yeah, and by the way,
Okay.
Ayush and team, thank you for bringing us all together, and it was a nice chat with you all, and thank you all. And with that, I would
truly international with panel from USA to Sweden to whatnot, great guys, great.
Yeah, and I welcome you all to KTH. Whenever you're here in Stockholm, please do visit
I know.
KTH.
Sweden is most friendly for women's education. I know about it. Don't worry.
Yeah, so you're welcome to KTH. Just let me know, and then you're all welcome.
Okay.
And one last request is forget about the photoelectric effect. So.
No, yeah, but I think C.V. Raman did something to that extent, but he didn't publish the paper. Actually, you knew, his unpublished papers. So you were right.
No.
But C.V. Raman took money from G.D. Birla to do the Raman effect experiment, and for doing it, he buried the photoelectric effect experiment. And Einstein picked it up and published it. So in a way, C.V. Raman, it's nothing wrong.
Okay.
No, nothing to feel bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd also like to echo thanks, especially the.
But Shivaram, you are a very cracker, yeah. you will give a run for money for all the boat toppers.
Oh boy, yeah. I hope
giving Planck's constant and gas constant to the decimal is too much.
Oh boy, yeah. No, thanks for organizing, Ayush, and everybody. It was very nice to chat with everybody.
Yeah, I searched you all over social media, but I realized that this guy, I could have probably got a guy in Madison, and I read all your teaching reviews, professor reviews. I said, this guy will never come to Facebook or LinkedIn. These are all too below standards for him.
That is true. That is true. I'm not on those platforms. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to also thank you all. And Ayush, perhaps next time we can also get more women academics who graduated from BITS. That'd be
Yes,
great.
absolutely, absolutely.
That'd be
We
really
will
nice to
do
see,
that.
yeah.
In
Just to have
fact,
the gender balance.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
That's important.
Yes,
I
that'd be
mean,
great.
in future, I can probably announce it now that post BITSians Day, we will be running a few podcasts with our alumni engagement team, where we will be having more topic-specific talks. And there, probably we won't be asking your CGPA and stuff, but yeah. So we have a lot of things lined up, and we will be
Cool.
reaching out to you and other alumni. So
Happy
if
to help. Thanks. Yeah.
yes, so if any one of you is watching and are interested in being on our podcast, or we'll be happy to have you on board. So you're more than welcome to contact us at BITSian International. We are there for you guys. So big thank you for being here. I wish you a nice day. So yeah,
Thanks
thank you
again.
so much.
Yeah.
Bye,
Hello,
everyone.
guys. Thank you. Have a great week. Great Sunday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Yeah. See you all. Yeah.
See you. Bye bye.